conspiracy of love. Think about this for a second. You know, we all may have different backgrounds, but if you think about it, we all have these kind of stories in common. You know, my father was born poor. In fact, he used to say, son, I was so poor I couldn't even afford to be poor. I was just po, P-O. I couldn't afford those letters. And he was a po boy from North Carolina. And we all have that in our background. And he said he was born to a single mom, couldn't really take care of him. And so a family brought him in. That power of human kindness and decency, and put a roof over his head. And he said when he couldn't afford to go to college, it wasn't even in his mind to go to college. It was people in that town that said, you were going to college, and changed his destiny. And when he said I couldn't afford it, they took a collection in their church to give him his first semester's tuition to afford college. Think about the ROI on that dollar that might have been placed in a collection plate back in the good old days when a semester's tuition could fit in a collection plate. That's why we need Hillary. But that power of that. And then when my parents both of them got to college, one at Fisk University, one at North Carolina Central, and then they just said it was amazing because they just watched and witnessed and participated in this incredible coming together like this room. My parents said they saw activists in the civil rights movement, black and white and Latino, Christian and Jewish and Muslim, all leaving their homes to come down south where my parents were and join in marches and demonstrations to create this incredible transformation of justice and righteousness in our country. People who were willing to board buses knowing they would be bombed, march knowing they would be beaten. This is the spirit in which we come from. And it even goes deeper in my family. When my parents got to Washington, D.C. after college, it was a time that folks wouldn't hire blacks. And I don't care what your background is in America. If you're a woman, if you're Irish, there was a time when corporate America didn't want to hire you. But I'll tell you what, there were activists there through organizations like the Urban League, blacks and whites coming together and saying, this is not who we are as a country. This does not speak to our truth. And they started putting pressure on companies, and companies had activists in their ranks as well. And suddenly my parents started getting jobs as the first black person hiring this or that. And my father actually became one of IBM's first African-American salesmen. And then he did really well. You know, if you give young people, if you give folks tools with which to use to make their lives better, they're going to use them in advance. And my father did really successful. Got moved to New Jersey at a time that a Jersey fan there. All right, Lakewood in the house. All right, they're shoveling in Lakewood right now. And so, but at that time in New Jersey, 1969, I was just being born. My parents couldn't find homes in white communities, but who was it? It was rooms like this. It was a storefront just like this.